you.
What if?
You could turn into a giant. I remember doing that, wishing I was a bit taller.
That's perfectly natural, but sometimes you just have to accept the way you are. Yep, there's really nothing we can do about it. I mean, there's really nothing we can do about it at all. Hang on. What?
Whoa! Forget the door frame, mark the ceiling.
Go on then, let's say you could change your height. Just how high could you go? The tallest man who has ever lived was Robert Wadlow. By the age of 5, he was the size of an adult. And by the time he stopped growing, he was an incredible 2.72 metres tall, 1.5 times the height of the average person. You probably wouldn't want to grow any higher than that, because things would start to get very awkward.
Looks like things are about to get very awkward.
OK, let's say that being the tallest person who has ever lived wasn't enough.
Doesn't look like it.
If you grew to 15 times your normal height, you could consider yourself a real giant, like in fairy tales. You know, I really wouldn't recommend being this tall.
What could be bad about being a giant?
Your reactions are slower, for one thing.
You what?
In a normal human body, nerve signals don't have far to travel. So when we touch something, the feeling reaches our brain almost instantly. However, for extremely large creatures, like dinosaurs, nerve signals have a lot further to travel. So dinosaurs have really slow reactions. And a human giant would too.
Maybe, but on the plus side, you could do all kinds of gianty heroic deeds.
Like what?
Well, he could help that friendly old lady get a cat out the tree.
You could have done that with a ladder.
But what about that cat?
OK, clearly being 15 times taller would be useful, but...
You'd be stronger too, right?
Yes, you probably could pick up a giant cat if you needed to, but there is one really big problem. You weigh a lot more.
Of course you do.
So, let me ask you a question.
Ready when you are.
If you're 15 times your normal height, how much heavier would you be? The same weight?
I don't think so.
15 times heavier?
That would make sense.
3,375 times heavier.
Well, it's not 3,375. That's ridiculous. No way.
In fact, your body would be 3,375 times heavier. You'd be 15 times bigger in height, width and depth. So that's 15 times 15 times 15, 3,375. All that extra weight would be putting a huge amount of strain on those legs. And of course, your heart would have to pump blood massive distances now.
Enough to make you feel weak at the knees.
Oh.
At this size, there'd only be one place you could really live, and that's in a large body of water. The water could support your weight, so it would no longer be putting such a strain on your legs.
Ah, cute little duck. So, if I've got this right, life as a giant would have some advantages. Being taller and stronger, you could do all kinds of heroic deeds. But your reactions would be slow. And you'd be so heavy that you wouldn't be able to stand up. And would have to live in the bath.
Finished?
Yeah.
So, all in all, I think it's probably best to stay the size that you're supposed to be.
Or get a bigger house.